All right, hi everybody. I'm going to try to make this relatively short and sweet. I'm sitting here in the Ferrari GT3 right now to show you the functionality of this new Ferrari dash. Um, it works in the Ferrari GT3 and GTE both. As you can see right now, it only has one traction control setting. If you get into the GTE, another traction control setting shows up. Same thing with my virtual button box over here. I've got it set up to read multiple traction controls, the whole 9 yards. Once again, building all this in SimHub, absolutely great program. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you donate. If you get it, of course, it'll kind of pester you into donating. So anyway, let's go over the functionality in the dash. As you can see, it's got the engine warnings built into it. This dash originally started life by another member of race department forums going by the name of Meeksta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There's 2 A's at the end. And he did a very, very good job with this dash. It really is excellent, even right out of the box. But me, of course, I don't run Assetto Corsa. I run iRacing. And I run iRacing exclusively. Not that I'm not that I'm just completely against Assetto Corsa. It's just I don't have the financial freedom to get a lot of sim titles, and I don't have extraneous time to spend on extra sim titles. So to me, the value benefit just isn't there. So I focus on iRacing. So anyway, screen number 1 here, D1, this page, is our pit monitor. You can see it's got all of our fuel information on there, a graphical representation of the fuel level. And some of this I pulled from Nicky Team's stream when he was going over the Assetto Corsa car differences. I took a really good hard look at the dash. And I know Assetto Corsa's got some stuff updated. I know they've been actually looking in the cars. So, of course, I took that to heart as well. I know the iRacing dash looks a little different than this inside, which you can still see that. If you want to jump in iRacing, you'll see the Ferrari 488 dash. Little bit outdated by ACC standards anyway. So anyway, we've got a numerical representation of the fuel remaining, the number of laps we can do on the fuel remaining, our average fuel burn, how much fuel we burned on the last lap. There's even a calculation in the upper left of fuel we need to end. Now, anytime I'm in a session that needs more than 99 gallons to get to the end, it just shows 0 because there's no point. The fuel to the end is really for your final pit stop. It's for your it's for races that only need one stop. That's where that's really going to matter when you get into the end. Now I'm sure we could have, another number up here somewhere managing how much fuel you actually do need for the entire event. But if you're running a really, really long event, that could change over the course of the event. So to me, the most value is in having the amount of fuel to that final pit stop available to you. So this is dash number 1. Of course, it's got your last lap and your best lap. All pages have that. All pages have the in-car controls, because that's very vital information for you as you're going through the race. And of course, I got a button mapped on my wheel to change dash pages, and I've got a button on my virtual button box to change dash pages. So the second page here, D2, is all about the tires and the brakes. It shows us the wear that came off the tires from the last pit stop. I would love to be able to do live air pressure. For some reason, iRacing does not put that data in the telemetry. They can give you the last measured air pressure. On the BMW now, they have live air pressure on the dash in the sim. but they don't put that out in the telemetry. I don't know why. I wish they would. We've also got our brake bias on the screen and braking force. You can see the 18 and the 16 down there. That is measured live. So if we're going around the track, and I'll show you this as we go around the track in a few minutes, which I'm not great here, so please forgive me. That does measure live. Now going to page 3. This is our engine management page. Again, it gives us our fuel data in the bottom right, and it's giving us our temps in the upper left. Your oil temp, your water temp, your oil pressure, your fuel pressure, things that you need to know about the engine through the race. And the final page, page 4, is your track management screen. It's giving you the actual live gap to the driver ahead of you, and it's giving you the live gap to the driver behind you. Now, these are programmed to work in class, and they don't run off the iRacing telemetry. They run off of SimHub's persistent tracker plugin. Now, the caveat to this is I've got it built to only run in class, because you've already got your F3. You don't need an F3 on your dash. So as long as the driver is in your same car class, it's going to measure them. Now, the problem with that is if you're in a multi-class race and there are 6 cars, actually the limit is 4. There are 4 cars between you and the next driver in your class. You're going to get a blank, just like you see on the screen right now, because there's nothing for it to display for you. This will also happen if all the other drivers are off the track, because this is all about being on track and what the persistent tracker plugin can measure. So it's not 100% perfect, but it is pretty good. You can see right now there's a car coming up behind us. So our gap behind is now shrinking. And this is just the next car in class, not necessarily the car we're ahead of or behind on the timing board. And see, now there he is. He's going up ahead of us. There's another car coming. There we go. And the next car behind us is sitting on pit road. And again, you'll see it's not running 100% on the iRacing time, but it's really good, really close. So that's all 4 pages. Let's take a look at some of the other functionality. I use this switch here, this up-down switch on my wheel to do my communication in race. So up communicates to iRacing, down communicates to TeamSpeak. Now, that works in SimHub because it reads the button presses on the wheel. And if you wanted to, you could get even slicker with this and actually have it say on up that you're speaking to iRacing. On down, you're speaking over TeamSpeak. My crew chief activation button is right here where I talk to crew chief. I can even have it activate there. It's up to you if you want to make extra customization, and I probably will once I upload this dash into the wild. So let's show you some of the other things it does. And again, I kind of yanked this off of Assetto Corsa.
Bad luck, Bobby. Take your
Let's fire
time.
the
Start
engine
it
back
back
up
up.
here.
Get back in the race.
You notice it's telling us right now we need to be in first gear because we can't take off in third gear. And it's telling us we're ready for launch. So that's programmed for you having the clutch pressed in and being below 20 miles an hour with the engine running. If we shut the engine off, the launch control turns off. And you've got to be in first gear. So it'll warn you, you've got to be in first gear. So let's get going. Track is clear. We're not trying to get in anyone's way right now. We're just showing this thing, what this thing does a little bit. And the overboost warning there also came from Assetto Corsa. And it makes sense because you could be killing the turbo. There's a certain power band the Ferraris like to live in. The LEDs are custom by me. The original dash did not come with LEDs, and there are a lot of us who don't have Arduino. So we need something on the dash to tell us. So basically right before we get to the yellow, the yellow light is where we start getting our rev indicator. The screen flashes at us, and you can turn that off if you want. That's something you will have to set yourself as to where you want it to rev up. So we'll cross the line here, and we'll get a differential. And again, I'm not super awesome at this track in any car, much less this one, which I'm just learning, so I'm not trying to light up the leaderboards here. I'm not trying to show you my amazing driving. See the lap diff pop up there? That lap was stupid slow. Because of course we were sitting on the track. And again, not trying to do anything crazy here. Just wanted to show you the lap diff. Now let's go ahead and collect an off track here. Let's push wide. Oh, we're way wide. Oh, there's our incident count. So that lets us know live how many incidents we've got. It'll even track team incidents, the whole 9 yards. Now the other thing we've got on this dash, which I don't think we can see here because it's fixed Ferrari. Let's give it a try. No, we can't change the traction control because it's fixed Ferrari. But anytime you turn the traction control on either of the traction controls on this car up to 6, it will cut your traction control completely off, and the dash will warn you that your traction control is off with a little indicator on the dash. Now, a very important part, and I just cut the pit limiter on like a goober, of running in a lot of these iRacing GT series is making sure you're ready for that pit stop. So of course this is going to be your screen right here. But if you forgot to get to your pit stop screen and monitor everything, this is another thing I programmed into it. You can get on the pit road, and if you forgot, boom, it pulls everything up for you. Oh, this is the fuel I need. It gives you an orange indicator of what the pit road speed is, just like the Assetto Corsa dash. So it's going to remind you right there. And we've got 41 seconds of optional repairs. And a running pit timer. So I think this is pretty cool stuff, honestly. I'll get this uploaded soon. Once I do, I'll update this video with comments of where you can access this dash. And hope you guys like it, and any other ideas for changes, just leave me a comment.